Hi there, I'm Nancy Herring from Now We're Cooking. It's Tuesday, so it's time for tips, tricks, and treats. And today's gonna be kind of a brief overview. I think cheese is marvelous. I like to eat straight up cheese, but I keep seeing all these videos and pictures of other things with cheese. So I was playing around with other things with cheese. I did the onion and Parmesan, which I'll show you in a minute. I'm not gonna do one in front of you. I'll show you what mine turned out like. But I didn't realize that you could just put cheese in the oven and it would turn into these crispy little delicious things. So we're gonna do that, but I also wanna make crispy little zucchini cheese items. So I'm gonna use a mandolin and my zucchini so that I can have even zucchini coins. Now, when you use a mandolin, you should use the safety holder, but when it's long like this, I can use my hand. So it's a little on the thicker side because I want it to hold up. And when it gets too close, I will either stop or use the use the safety holder. But I've got nice slices. I'm gonna lay them out on my cookie sheet. I'm using smaller cookie sheets because I didn't wanna make a full sheet tray of them, or they're half sheets really. This is a quarter sheet. And I put parchment. And the reason I put parchment as opposed to a silicone mat is because a cheese makes a lot of oil, and with the silicone, because it's flat, it can drain off and kind of gunk up your sheet. With the parchment, you have the ability to fold it and turn it up. So I'm gonna just put my zucchini out. I'm gonna sprinkle it with a little salt, pepper, garlic. You could put Italian seasoning, you could put oregano, you could not put anything, but zucchini on its own, I think, needs a little something. So I wanted to show you something else. Microplane.
In your oven.
Oh, I've got something in the oven. Almost, but not quite. I'll show you those in a minute. Microplane makes the long traditional zester. They also make a shorter one. They work great with Parmesan and Parmesan type cheeses. You just run it across. And this is the wider one. And you just get this lovely little Parmesan. I wouldn't use pre-grated on these type things because pre-grated cheese often has an anti-caking agent in it, like some flour or cornstarch or something, and we want it to melt. So I'm going to do Parmesan on some of these. And if the Parmesan goes over the edge, that's okay. I'll get some lacy little crispy bits, which is the fun part. So I'm going to do these with Parmesan. And then, because I have some other cheese just sitting around here, I'm gonna slice some mozzarella and do mozzarella on some of it. I'm gonna put it in the oven at about, I think the oven's set at 350. And what I want it to do is to melt and turn bubbly. And that's enough to make the zucchini happy. Do a little bit more. You could put any type cheese that you want on this. And I run that in the oven. And what I'm looking for is for it to melt and turn a little golden. Now, I tell you, I've been just putting things on cheese today. That's all there is to it. So these look like crackers, but this is really, I took pre-sliced cheese and I cut it into quarters. And on these, I'll show you some in a minute that I just did cheese. These, there's a piece of zucchini under some of them. There's a piece of pepperoni under some of them. So they look like there's a cracker, but it's not at all. And I tell you, you can put cheese on anything and run it. I didn't do it this time, but years ago we did something where you just put the cheese, you grated some cheese and put it in a skillet, and you get this crispy little. And so you're like, what do I do with these things? You either serve them as snacks straight up, put a little pile of, I'm going to do one more now that I'm thinking about it. This one has some onions under it. You can put a little pile of Parmesan and stick it in the oven, and we're going to get a little cheese crisp. You can buy those cheese crisps, but this is more fun because you can flavor it how you want to. You can do them as large or as small as you want to. I want them to not dry, but I want them to crisp up a little bit. And I don't know if you can see that the parchment has quite a bit of oil on it, and that's why I don't use a sill pad on these. But now that I'm thinking about it, I have a little bit of leftover Parmesan. I'm gonna grate that, stick it in the oven, and hopefully I'll be able to show you. But I want to show you what I did earlier because, as I say, I had some successes and I had some not successes. So I'm just going to put a little mound of cheese, as much cheese as I've got. But you've probably had a salad at a restaurant where it came with a cheese crisp or a bowl of soup that came with one. This is how you make it. My cookie sheet is still a little on the hot side, having just taken it out of the oven. Okay. And my zucchinis are in there doing their thing. So, let me show you some of what I did earlier. These are straight up cheese crisps, a couple of different kinds of cheese. I had cheddar, I had Monterey Jack, I think one of these was a cheddar Monterey combo. I took zucchini coins, and they're not crisp, if you will, but they're so good. I sliced them thin, put the Parmesan on them, stuck them in the oven. So I got this nice little, if your kids won't eat zucchini, this is a fun way to get them to eat zucchini. The thing that I'd seen on multiple times, that I tried multiple times, basically you fill your sheet with grated Parmesan, and you slice onions and you put the onions down the middle, and they show this cheesy whole sheet that they could lift up. I was never able to do that, but I do have, it comes out kind of like this, and what's cool is you can take scissors and just cut them. I did pepperoni, I did onions, and lots of Parmesan, and you put a little olive oil and a little salt and pepper. These are not quite the ones that I had seen on the videos, but that's okay, because these are the ones, and I can cut right through that onion if I want to. And what I want to show you is there are always some things that don't turn out quite like you wanted. These taste delicious on this sheet, but they don't look as pretty. And partly is I did the onions a little thinner than I thought, so they burned a little bit. But I don't think burned onions are a bad thing. So what do you do with these things? You put them out on a tray, you put some marinara sauce, you put some pesto, you put something, and you just snack on them. And it sounds so silly that I think I would rather have a piece of crisp cheese than a slice of cheese sometimes. You don't need a cracker under it unless you want to. You can put it with a veg, you can do any of that. But it's just a different thing to do. These, you can see the pepperonis at the bottom. You can see the zucchinis at the bottom. This one I put a little teeny pile of onions at the bottom. So again, I had some veg, I was just playing with them to see. Let's see what these two are not done yet, so you're not gonna get to see those. But that's really what I wanted to show you, is it is okay to play with your food. Try things with cheese, try different graters to see if you have a thick grate or a thinner grate. How does your cheese melt? If you have a mandolin, try it. Try thinner, try thicker, try all the different options. But it's a fun thing to do. There's a lot of snacking going on this time of year. The weather's a little iffy, so maybe you want to stay home and cook. So those are some ideas to play with your food and play with cheese. So Now We're Cooking is at the northeast corner of Paseo del Norte in Wyoming. We are open Monday through Saturday from 11 to 4. We'd love to see you out. We'd love to help you with your cheese needs if there is such a thing. And we're going to have snacky cheese later on tonight. So I really thank you for watching. I hope you'll try some of these, and we'll see you next time.